Question: how do you whitewash raceless characters? Answer: I don't know. Ask Hasbro. Howdy, my name is CXCD, and I noticed something very quite strange while watching Equestria Girls. I am 20 years old, and I'm still talking about this godforsaken franchise. If you've never seen Equestria Girls before, and this is the first time seeing these characters, then I am incredibly sorry for you. Nightmares are in your immediate future. If you don't know already, when they decided to turn the ponies into humans, they decided not to give them race and skin tone. Instead, they simply just took the colors of the horses and gave them to the humans. And this gave us pastel humans like a purple Twilight, a yellow Fluttershy, and a blue Rainbow Dash. Anytime a human is blue is when they're dying of asphyxiation. She's on the verge of death constantly. But I'm not here to discuss which race fictional characters should be, because at the end of the day, they're fictional ponies. Who cares what race they are, right? I mean, except for Pinky. I mean, she's obviously black, like, but besides Pinky, I don't think any of the ponies should have races. Except for Rarity. She's obviously Asian. Singaporean, actually. But that's it. No more. And Rainbow Dash is Native American. Twilight's Indian. And Fluttershy and Applejack are white. But that's it, no more. Starlight's also white. Damn it! But Hasbro decided not to give the ponies races, which is totally fine. Even if I disagree, it's totally fine. I mean, I'd rather see a black Pinky, but I guess I can settle for a pink Pinky too. But despite me saying that none of the characters have races, they still, somehow, managed to whitewash their raceless characters. What do I mean by this? Well, let's back up and let's explain the term of whitewashing, because it's actually evolved quite a bit over the past few years. Like, we're not painting a fence here, guys. But for the sake of today's video, and for the sake of Twitter, whitewashing is kind of the practice of taking a darker skinned character and, for really no reason, turning them white. Like, imagine you're trying to adapt a novel into a movie, and there's a black character in that novel. It would be pretty messed up if you took that character who was black in the novel and then turned them white in the movie. Like, it's like changing their entire physical appearance for no other reason than to be a white guy. Like, that's why whitewashing is bad. And it's actually a practice. It's a thing that happens, genuinely. So now that we know about whitewashing, how the actual hell does MLP do it? I will be talking about 3 characters who are quite damaged from their original appearance. Those 2 characters are Big Mac, Cheerly, and Luna. None of these characters are necessarily supposed to be black, right? Like, I think Big Mac is usually portrayed as being white in fandom media, as is Cheerly, and I feel like Luna is kind of like a 50-50 split. But if you look at their horse models, you'll notice that each character has slightly darker fur, like darker colors. So you're probably wondering how Hasbro whitewashes their characters, and I'll explain it to you by showing you Big Mac. Here he is as a pony, and here he is as a human. Oh my god. Now, to be fair, I can see why they turned him a different color, because the red is very hard on the eyes as a human, to be fair, but they turned him pink! He's pink! He's literally the most human-toned colored character in all of Equestria Girls. He's white! Like I said, unlike the other 2 characters I'm already to show, I can at least kind of understand why they did it, because Big Mac's original fur color is a very bright red, and it looks fine on a pony, but when given to a human, it's a little bit hard in the eyes. And a username known as Jester of Destiny made this mock-up on Reddit to show everybody what Big Mac would look like with these original colors. So I can understand why they wanted to turn Big Mac's colors a little bit brighter, right? Like, it's not unreasonable. But pink? Bright, light, white, pink? So here's my own mock-up I made of the other image. I just brought his colors down a little bit, and he's so much better, dude. I could understand from changing it from red to a slightly different color, but they overcompensated so badly with this. It's not even funny. He could have totally worked, okay? So, yeah, like I said, Big Mac is probably the least worst example, to be honest, because at least with Big Mac, you can kind of see where they're coming from, right? You can see why they changed the color from this bright, eye-blindingly bright red to a brighter color. Now to the next pony, Cheerly. On the other hand, here she is as a pony, and here she is as a human. Now, there's no reason to do this. I've actually talked to some people who genuinely didn't realize that this character in Equestria Girls was Cheerly and thought it was just some random background teacher character, which I can honestly kind of see. As a newcomer who doesn't have like the fandom list of all characters in Equestria Girls memorized by heart, I can kind of understand why you think this character's not Cheerly. This time, instead of doing the Big Mac tour, they literally just swapped her colors. Her hair and her coat are just swapped. So, I mean, technically her colors are all still there, but still, this one's worse than Big Mac. It's worse than Big Mac because, unlike Big Mac, she looks fine with her original colors. I think her mane makes her look like slightly older. We don't even have a canon age for the main characters, much less Cheerly. So I feel like having a white mane would have totally worked. I just don't understand the need to turn her into a lighter skin tone. It would have worked fine. And now finally, for our last character, we have Princess Luna. Or I guess, in Equestria Girls, Vice Principal Luna. And guys, I need you to hold on to your horses, okay? Brace for impact, because things are gonna get a little bit bumpy. Deep breaths, okay? I need to mentally prepare you for the tragedy of what Luna's gonna be like, okay? I'm gonna take it slow, and I'm not gonna show you immediately, but I'm gonna— Just kidding, here she is! Yeah, I think I'm done. I'm not. No, I'm okay. I'm actually done. I mean, physically, nothing is particularly wrong with this model. It looks fine, but it doesn't look like Luna. They literally took everything that made Luna Luna and just threw it away. I feel like they could have given her season 1 blue hair at the very bare minimum, but they didn't. I understand that she wouldn't have like magical flowing blue hair as she does in the equestrian world, in the human world, right? Obviously. But they could have like at least attempted something other than like this weird half merging thing between her season 1 hair and her season 2 hair. Like, and the skin color. Listen, I personally would headcanon Luna as being darker toned, and I understand a lot of people don't feel the same way. A lot of fan art makes her white. I get that. But this? It's literally a raceless character being whitewashed. This just isn't Luna. It's some creature in a Luna skin puppet, dude. And in the comics, it's even worse. In the comics, Luna is borderline actually white. At least they like half attempted to fix her hair in the comics, but still. So just like with Big Mac, I can at least kind of understand why they changed her colors from the original colors, okay? Because here she is with her canon colors. I understand it's a little too dark to read, but at the same time, just like with Big Mac, they way overcorrected for her. I really feel like there's like a middle ground here that they just didn't do. And instead, just everybody was just massively overcorrected for it. Oh, but don't you worry, although I just labeled the most 3 egregious examples of skin tones being whitewashed in this series, you have to remember that everyone is slightly lighter. Twilight is a slightly lighter purple than she was as a pony. Fluttershy and Applejack the same way. Everyone is slightly lighter. I think it's because they're desaturated a little bit. The fact that everyone is slightly lighter means that they could have made even the dark skin tone slightly lighter too, and not do what they did to them, right? So why do they do this? It comes back to readability. Lighter skin tones are just more readable. But then again, I feel like they should have at least tried, right? As a matter of fact, here's my personal artist interpretation of what Luna would look like. Do you like it? Because this is the first time I've ever drawn a human in like 5 years, and I don't actually know how good or bad it looks because as of the time of writing the script and of filming, I've not done this drawing yet. I know it's just gonna be bad, but I don't know how bad it's gonna look like. Actually, hey, voiceover Andrew, can you please tell me how bad it is? I tried, okay? Thank you, Andrew. Anyway, I was discussing with my Discord server how whitewashed some of the characters are. If you want to join the Discord server, the link's down below. And a few people brought up some very interesting points I want to cover real quick. One point that stuck out to me specifically about Luna was that the equestrian Luna and the human Luna are not carbon copies of one another. They are separate characters who live very separate lives. They just share broad overarching similarities. They got a sister, they look like this, you know, they have the same voice actor. So human Luna doesn't necessarily need to be the same skin color as equestrian Luna, because at the end of the day, they're not the same character. My response to that argument is, I get what you're saying, they're not the same character, but I'm not arguing about character similarities and character differences, how one Luna would act compared to the other one. I'm comparing physical traits. You can say, oh, they grew up in different environments all you want, but at the end of the day, I'm talking about skin color. Another argument I saw, not in my Discord server, but another argument I saw was that some people don't want DEI characters in their show.
Shut the fuck up. You don't get to have an opinion on this.
Do you want to know the reason why I think they absolutely destroyed these skin colors? If I'm being completely 100% honest with you, and I'm not holding back at all. I think that the decision to make all the characters lighter tones was because it is fractions of cents cheaper to make plastic toys, plastic dolls with lighter skin tones. The dye that they probably use to make plastic darker costs almost nothing, but it's still something. Darker plastic is fractions of a cent more expensive to make. Not all plastics created equally though, like those black takeout boxes, those are actually cheaper to produce than white takeout boxes, but still. In certain situations, like doll making, darker plastic is more expensive. Like I said earlier, readability on characters' faces is a big issue too. It's just easier to read what characters are saying or doing or the expression they're making with lighter skin. With ponies, you can make them as dark as you want and you can always read it because they're just that more expressive. They have bigger mouths and bigger eyes. But on humans, they have smaller noses and smaller eyes and smaller mouths. And having darker skins in the style they chose makes it hard to see. Now, is there ways around this? Yes, absolutely. Although I think those are the two big reasons why they did this, I still think that there was definitely ways they could have done darker skin colors. I still think they absolutely way overcorrected for dark skin tones. And before I let you guys go, there is one more really interesting fact I want to share. There was actually some concept art for Equestria girls that shows that at one point at least, they were at least considering the idea of giving the characters darker skin tones. And they gave Twilight a brown skin tone, maybe like an Indian, which is what I headcanon her as. Now, I'm no stranger to concept art. I know a lot about concept art, and I know that the reality of the situation is that some concept artist was probably just having fun. Still, I think it's very sad that we had the potential to have darker skin tones, and we just never did. That, and I think Hasbro just really wanted to avoid pissing off the fandom. That's about it for today. My Discord server is linked down below if you want to join it, and please make sure to subscribe, because I will see you guys later. Remember, kids, always tolerate intolerance.